Hi everyone, my name is Sonja. Today we will talk about this scope. Let's get started. The PSO-1 scope was developed in 1963 for SVD sniper rifle and is still used in the CIS troops. This scope is very popular in Russian airsoft. Owners of airsoft SVD, SVU, VSS try to buy original military devices. Although civilian hunting versions of these scopes are also widespread, they can be distinguished by marking. Civilian scopes are marked PO or POSP. Chinese replicas of scope copy civilian versions. Usually a canvas cover is included. Modern versions have a camouflage color. This scope is almost 50 years old. At the same time, the lenses in it are very good and look much better than cheap replicas of modern optical scopes. The lens has a rubber protective cover. Also, to eliminate glare during aiming, the lens has a hood. The owner of this scope installed special caps on the adjustment screws. This hole is designed for charging a special fluorescent screen with sunlight. This switch switches the scope to night mode. This switch turns on the reticle illumination. The backlight bulb is located here. Battery compartment for powering the bulb. This scope uses one AA battery. In the original, the battery compartment cover is different and is identical to the cover from the PSO-7 scope. Because previously a different power source was used to RC63, which is no longer produced. My scope lost the battery compartment cover, so I replaced it. Old scopes use small bulbs that work from a voltage of 3 volts. Now they have been replaced by LEDs, and 1.5 volts from an AA battery is enough for them. What the aiming mark looks like. During the day, at night with the backlight on. In addition to the aiming grid itself, there is a rangefinder scale. Its essence is that by placing a human figure on the scale, you can determine the distance to this person. For example, if a person's figure at full height is equal to the distance under the number 4, then the distance to this person is 400 meters. To protect the eye from the recoil of the weapon, a special rubber tube is installed on the scope. This tube is for use without glasses. Therefore, when using protective glasses, it is necessary to put the protective rubber tube tighter on the scope. Of particular interest is the special luminescent screen. This screen was charged from sunlight or from a flashlight, but only from an incandescent lamp. During the day it did not give any use, but at night you can see the infrared backlight of the night vision devices through the screen. I checked the operability of the luminescent screen. It sees the IR illumination of the LM001 flashlight replica only and very weakly the IR diodes from TV remotes. The illumination from my GT14 NVG is not visible in the PSO. The scope is carried in a special magazine pouch from the SVD rifle. How the PSO-1 scope is installed on the weapon. The SVD rifles and AK series assault rifles have a special bracket for installing scopes. Installing a scope on the SVU rifle from SIMA. This scope is located to the left of the aiming line, which is very inconvenient for left-handers. It is installed on the SVD rifle in the same way. The PSO-1 scope mounts well on the SKS carbine. The scope mounting rail on the AK series was designed for installing night vision scopes such as the NSU. Therefore, the PSO-1 scope is poorly installed on the AK since the backlight bulb rests against the receiver cover. The PSO-1 scope is also poorly installed on the Saiga 12K rifle for the same reason. A similar problem with installing the scope on the RPK and AK-74U. On some version of the VSS valve rifle, the scope can be installed without problems. In this case, the VSS valve from NPO-IAG. The PSO-1 M2 scope is a newer modification of the sniper scope. The mounting location for the bulb has been reduced, so the scope can be installed on AK series weapons. Scope uses one AA battery. The new version does not have a fluorescent screen. Reticles can be of different types. Installing a scope on an SVU. Installing a scope on an AK-74. Installing a scope on a VSS valve. Installing a scope on a Saiga 12K. Now there are versions of scope with the ability to install on Picatinny rails. Of course, now such a scope is outdated, but it was intended for cheap and mass arming citizens during total mobilization. Bye.